you guys? So today's video is incredibly exciting because this is quickly becoming one of my favorite types of videos to do. I wish I could do it more frequently, but I think I want to keep it down to like once a quarter or once a season. But also I am collaborating with NappyHeadedJojoba here on YouTube. She's one of my favorite YouTubers. I've had a pretty good YouTube year. Like I got to collab with Shallon, who is one of my favorites, and then now T, and I'm so excited. So we decided that it'd be really fun to kind of do our own takes on the current makeup releases that are coming out for the fall season. So I believe what she's doing is she's gonna say her top 5 and her bottom 5 for the releases. I wrote her and I was like, girl, there's so much garbage out right now, like I can't keep it down to 5. So I'm gonna be talking about a lot of stuff, and I'm gonna keep it in the good, bad, and the ugly format like I did for my summer release video. I highly encourage you guys to go check out T. I've been watching her for the majority of the year. I found her during Dramageddon 2.0. She is hilarical and super intelligent, and just, I love listening to her talk. Like, she could read the phone book and I would tune in. So definitely go check her out. I will leave all of her information down below. And if you're new here, make sure you check out the rest of my videos. My name is Whitney, and I talk a lot about consumerism, beauty budget, how to get the most out of our existing collections. And also I love to do deep dives on the beauty community and the beauty industry as a whole to figure out what, if anything, we can learn from it. Shout out to the patrons and shout out to the Facebook group members. All that once again down below. All right, let's get started. Okay, so I sat down the other day and I perused Sephora, Ulta, Beautylish, and I don't think I actually checked out Hot Fire makeup this time, but it was definitely Sephora, Ulta, and Beautylish. And I can't emphasize for you guys enough how out of the loop about makeup releases I actually am. I literally don't check for them at all. I'm not following anyone who really pushes a lot of products, so it's all very mysterious to me until I sit down and do this. And I was just, the main feeling that I had while I was checking out all these releases this time was extreme underwhelm. I don't know, man. I think I'm just getting out of the game. I'm over it. So I have some notes here, and the first note I have is, who is buying Jouer? Because I was scrolling through Beautylish and definitely Sephora. I don't know if they're at Ulta, but I feel like I kept seeing a lot of Jouer releases. And to be honest, not only do I never hear it talked about now, but I feel like I've never really heard it talked about. Maybe like in 2016, I kind of remember. But other than that, like, who was buying Jouer? Do you guys wear Jouer? What are your favorite products? I don't know. I just saw so much stuff, and I'm like, they're in business for a reason, I guess. I also wrote down lots of sets, lots of minis, and lots of mini sets. Guess what? The Christmas stuff is already out, which is just bananas to me. It is still September. Like, we can barely enjoy the fall releases because it's already time to get excited about the Christmas ones. In this particular video, I did try not to drag the typical brands that I tend to drag. I do have certain ones that tend to ruffle my feathers a little more. Try not to do that. But yeah, I'm gonna start with the good. Let me just let you know right out the gate, there's not a lot of good as far as I'm concerned. I mean, I am on a no buy, and I will continue to be on this no buy until January 1st, I guess. But even still, you know, sometimes things catch my eye. There's really nothing catching my eye right now. The only things I wrote down was the Millie Bobby Brown line and the Tarte, I think it's called the Sugar line, Sugar Crush line. I didn't know where else to put this because I don't think it's bad. It's definitely not ugly, but I just wanted to talk about it really quick and kind of get your opinion on the situation. So Millie Bobby Brown, as many of you know, is the actress from Stranger Things. I don't watch Stranger Things, so like, I know, right? But I do know that's who she is. And then Tarte has a line called Sugar Rush. Both of them are clearly aimed at teens, preteens, and things like that. And it just really got me thinking. My initial reaction, especially to the Millie Bobby Brown release, was just not good. I was kind of, once again, irritated because I feel like so many people are trying to get in the game now. But more importantly, it just sat a little weird with me because I don't know how I feel about marketing makeup to teens and preteens. Now hear me out. I definitely wore makeup in my teens and preteens because I was obsessed with it since I was knee-high to a pig's eye. It's the way I've always been. You guys have asked me many times how I feel about my daughter playing with makeup. She's almost 14. She has some makeup. I give her some little fun things to play with, but she doesn't really wear it out of the house very much. And that's honestly because she's not that interested in it, which is bananas to me because I came out the womb wanting to learn how to do eyeliner. But if she decides that suddenly she wants to actively wear it, like to school or when we go out to dinner, you know, there would be a lot of discussions about self-love, self-esteem, what makeup is, what makeup isn't, because I just worry that, okay, I watched a documentary a long time ago, and it was talking about the education system and how it was taking money from places like Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, McDonald's, blah, blah, blah. These companies were giving the school systems money and also having their products in the school. And the companies, their logic was, let's create customers for life. Let's get them young, and then they'll want this shit forever. And I kind of feel that way about marketing makeup specifically to teens and teenagers. So when it comes to makeup for like me, I did play with makeup and wear makeup when I was younger, but it was just regular makeup. Like my mom kind of had to decide whether or not it was age appropriate, but there wasn't really lines targeted to me, and I can't decide if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I also recently read an article in Huffington Post, I'll leave it down below, that talked about studies that have been done that show that girls who start wearing makeup between the ages of 8 and 13, I think, they said, tend to report an overall lower sense of self-esteem and also tend to say things like they don't want to leave the house or be seen without makeup. And for me, it's just like, that's young to already start that journey. So I don't have any solutions. I don't even really know how I feel about it. I just wanted to kind of gauge y'all's opinion on it and how you feel about it. So I'm gonna put the Millie and the Sugar Crush from Tarte in the good pile, but that's because I didn't know where else to put it. But moving on, in terms of other things that I like, there's really not much. I mean, I'm still eyeing the New Face. There's like a mirror from Ricky Loves Ricky that looks kind of cool. And then also, this is one makeup product I did think was pretty neat, but it is very expensive and the reviews so far aren't so great, but I found it to be at least innovative. Iconic London came out with this pigment palette. It's really cool. Like for makeup artists, I could see how that'd be beneficial, so you don't have to schlep around with lots of little tiny pigment jars. So this is a very compact way to do that, and at least it's not a friggin' eyeshadow palette. I would really have to go swatch it and see it to get a sense of how I feel. But even still, I don't think I would buy it. It was just one of the only products I saw that I thought was in any way original. So that's all the good I have for the fall releases. And who knows, maybe when I do my Christmas releases video, I'll feel differently, but it's not looking too good out there these days. Let's move on to the bad. Okay, so the first thing I wrote down for the bad is this Glow Recipe Sleeping Eye Mask. I'm gonna be honest, I don't understand why everyone's so excited about the Glow Recipe brand. Because I've said this before and I'll say it again, and I need to do an actual skincare video around this type of a topic. But anytime I look at a skincare line and the description of the item that they're selling has too many adjectives in it, or nouns that don't really make sense, it does nothing for me. Like, you need to tell me what is in this product. 10% salicylic acid, or hyaluronic acid, or peptides. Like, let me know what this is. And I feel like Glow Recipe would just be like, watermelon sleeping mask, and that's supposed to mean anything at all to me. But they are very famous for that watermelon mask, and then they had an avocado mask, and now we are on to the avocado melt retinol eye sleeping mask. Now, first of all, you guys know how I do those 5 things you have enough of video. I feel like sleeping masks might be the next thing to pop up on that list, because you guys already know how I feel about Sephora skincare as a whole, but this whole sleeping mask thing that has been kind of shoved down our throats the past 2 years or so is just getting a little tiresome to me. It's another example, in my opinion, of companies creating solutions to problems or creating entire new products that ain't nobody asked for. But anyway, this one in particular I found especially offensive to my sensibilities, because now it's just an eye sleeping mask, like just for your eyes. Like the products are getting more and more niche down for exact times of day and exact areas of your face. Now, this is a mask, a night mask, just for your eye. That's bananas. Plus, it's a retinol eye mask, which, first of all, I don't believe in eye creams as a whole anyway. Like, that's just my opinion. But certainly not a retinol one. I don't know. This seems bananas to me. It has a crap ton of good reviews, so it must be doing something for somebody out there, but I would never spend my money on this, personally. Okay, the next thing I wrote down were beauty supplements. I have so much to say about this. I'm considering once again putting this in my 5 things you can stop buying type of video. So we all know what beauty supplements are. They tend to be something ingestible. So sometimes they come in the form of powder, sometimes they're pills, sometimes they're Coffee. There is a coffee brand that does this. But anyway, this is Alginist, the spirulina microalgae vitamin C probiotic supplement. And then this is the chlorella microalgae pro collagen blend supplement. Now, these things are $65. You can get chlorella and spirulina from Whole Foods. So it's really wild to me that they even have the nerve to do this, but I'm sure they're saying that, well, our blend is like ethically harvested and most pure and special form, and it's like, whatever, it is what it is. But this kind of got me thinking about beauty supplements as a whole, like I said, where it's just kind of this new market that's really kind of starting to explode of ingestible, consumable beauty products, if you will, because the idea is if you eat this, it'll make you prettier, it'll make your skin better, it'll make your hair better, like it'll produce more collagen. I mean, we've been seeing collagen stuff for a while. Here's what I have to say quickly about this, and it's going to be quick because I think I'm going to put this in a video as well. There is not, I repeat, not a lot of empirical evidence that suggests that this stuff actually works. At least not enough to justify the prices that are being charged for it. The idea is that you're probably not eating well enough, and this will kind of fill in the gaps, and overall being healthy does do things like make you look better, but it's not a marked difference where like you're gonna start taking this shit in October and then wake up in January and look 10 years younger. That's not what's gonna happen. So that's why these huge price points are a little nuts to me. I understand we lead busy lives, we have a lot going on, but overall, I don't know if this is the way to try to improve upon your beauty diet, if you want to call it that. I can do a video on beauty diets if you want. Eat more fruits and vegetables, eat better, take care of yourself, sleep more, do those things. And if you just really can't get it together, I guess invest in this stuff. But once again, there's not a lot of studies at all that show it works. And the effect that is seen is minimal. I mean, there's no like downside. No one's come out and had like adverse reactions or adverse effects. But $65 for friggin' chlorella that, like I said, once again, you can get at Whole Foods or something like that is just insane. So please, you guys, do tons of research. Figure out, if you can afford to maintain this type of a beauty routine to the point that now you're buying food at Sephora. It's just nuts. Anyway, I put that in the bad. That's my personal opinion, but I will do something kind of diving more into this because I have a lot more notes on it. I just can't get into all of it today. Oh, also I forgot to mention there's over 100 beauty supplements on Sephora.com right now. This is the I hate this stupid brand name. Oromoro-Vixa. Is that what it's called? There's entirely too many O's. Omoro-Vixa Complexion Perfector. I only have one thing written down for this. $95 for a tinted moisturizer. No. Moving on. The last thing I have in the bad list is the Smashbox. This is their holiday collection. It is one of the most confusing holiday collections I've ever seen. And to be honest, if it's not just Smashbox, y'all. I saw so many collections, and we'll get to some of them in a minute. Honestly, for a long time, I thought the collections were a little lazy, a little silly. But right now, it's at a peak ridiculousness. So this is basically Smashbox Christmas in space. Like, that's what, it's the holiday collection, but it's like space. Out of this world beauty for Christmas. I can't, not only do the items in the collection not speak to me or seem extremely groundbreaking or interesting at all, but on top of that, I don't know who this is for. I know that they did a collab with the Hood Witch earlier this summer, which I actually thought was really cool. And if I wasn't no-bind, I probably would have gotten some of those face mists they came out with because I thought they were neat. Anyway, so I don't know if that's what they're trying to do, like astrology, space, kind of keep this like theme go. I don't know. But it honestly is one of the more laughable collections I've ever seen. Christmas in space. Come on, guys. All right, let's get into the ugly. So the ugly this go round in this video is pretty ugly. So if I get really sassy, just write it out with me. But anyway, this is Funko makeup. Okay, do you guys know what Funko Pops are? I think that's what they're called. The brand's called Funko, and then I think the little figurines they make are called Pops. They're just like those kind of like bobbleheads, but not really. You get them at like Hot Topic, Target, video game stores, like they're everywhere. And they have one for everything. I've seen them for the Golden Girls. I've seen them for The Office. I've seen them for The Walking Dead. They have them for everything. And their slogan is everyone's a fan of something. Let me start off by saying I don't think I fangirl and I don't think I stan. In my early 20s, actually even still to this day, if anybody in my life wants to buy me anything, it's always Nightmare Before Christmas shit. I have Nightmare Before Christmas calendars, mugs, shoes, gloves, paintings, purses, mittens, everything. I have Nightmare Before Christmas everything because it's my favorite movie. Now, when I was in my early 20s, I didn't mind that so much because I would just like deck out my little room with all my Nightmare Before Christmas stuff. But I'm 33 years old. Like, I am not collecting merch from anything anymore. But I do understand that people do because I once did. However, in my little jaded heart, I look at stuff like this and I feel like it's kind of taken advantage of the situation. And I'll tell you why. Basically, Funko, who makes plastic figurines for people who like to collect stuff, being in the makeup industry, it just genuinely feels like an overt, unapologetic cash grab, especially because Funko themselves are not making the makeup in question, but you know who is? Another company called Taste Beauty, who makes merch makeup, which I've talked about before, and I've already said I'm a fan of her. This is a good example of why. Let me just read you guys a couple of quotes from somebody over at Funko Punko. We're always looking forward to opportunities to acquire companies or get into categories that we aren't currently in if it makes sense with our core competency, which is pop culture, a massive array of licenses and reaching fan bases in unique and cool ways. I.e., we gonna make money anywhere and everywhere we can because everyone's a fan of something. It's just crappy to me. I don't know why. It just, I don't like it. According to an article that I read on CNBC, which I'll link down below, the company noted that there is a huge overlap between fans who love makeup and those who love to collect Funko Pops. Therefore, it is said this collection was a natural fit for the brand. I found that very interesting for two reasons. Number one, there will be overlap of people who like makeup and people who like any damn thing. I mean, like, I love makeup and I love iPhones. Are you guys gonna, is someone gonna decide, oh, there's a huge overlap between people who love makeup and who love iPhones? Oh, there's a huge overlap between people who love makeup and who love long walks on the beach. Like, obviously, you could say that about anything. More importantly, what I also took away from that was they're basically, to me, saying there's a huge overlap between people who collect these kind of items and people who will collect makeup. And that is true. We've talked about this many times. We've even talked about the verbiage of referring to your makeup as a collection and the need to have all of any one item in that collection and the need to keep the collection growing and how much that does not serve us as individuals. So I guess I can't be mad at them for putting two and two together and figuring out that people will buy collector's item style makeup or whatever, but it's so lazy. It's so lazy. I bet the makeup is actually trash. Like, this is in the ugly category for a reason for me. I feel triggered. I'm not into it, but it gets worse. So there's a brand, as we all know, called Makeup Revolution. They sell them at Ulta for sure. I don't know where else they sell them. I haven't really messed with that brand so much. Like, I've tried the concealer that came out last year. I don't know. I tried the concealer from them last year. It was pretty good. I haven't used it in a super long time, never repurchased it, so I obviously wasn't that impressed. But every time I go over to that section in Ulta, I kind of find myself just being like, it just seems very disorganized and almost like, do you guys remember in the 90s, if you're old enough, designer imposter perfumes? Where it was basically these companies that would create dupes of popular perfumes at the time. So I just remember there was like a CK one, a Tommy Girl one, like, y'all know what I'm talking about. But that's what this feels like to me, where it's just a line that tries to dupe popular items in other categories of makeup, which is fine. But they seem to have like another division of Makeup Revolution called I Heart Revolution. And that whole sector of this company is so garbage fire. I can't even believe people are into this. So The two main offenders, but definitely not all of the offensive things. I'm really not that mad, you guys. I know it seems like I'm really pissed off. I'm kind of joking, kind of serious. But the main offenders that I saw that I was just really put off on is they have food palettes, which we've talked about before. I think it was in my last video just like this, where I was talking about those burger and pizza palettes, and I couldn't understand the F. But now Makeup or I Heart Makeup Revolution, whatever, they're doing it too. So they have an avocado palette, which is the least ridiculous of all of them because at least there's some green in here. It kind of works, I guess. They have a pizza palette. Once again, another friggin' pizza palette. There is no food. I love curry. I love curry. I could eat it all day, every day. Oh God, that sounds good. All day, every day. Love it. I'm not buying curry makeup. Like, that's not happening. So I cannot understand who is buying this or who at headquarters thinks this is a good idea. It really blows my mind. I mean, they have a chili one. They have a popcorn one. And here's the crazy thing about the popcorn one. There is nothing about this color story that screams popcorn to me. So like, they're not even trying. And then somehow the worst to me is the hot dog palette. Hot dogs are great, okay? Very, very 4th of July, love a hot dog. There's not a food on planet Earth that I think is less pretty or reminds me of makeup than a hot dog. I don't even understand. Then there's like a hair itching my nose right here. You guys, I'm so sorry. I keep scratching it. So they also have these music palettes, which make somehow even less sense to me because what they're doing is it's called the Now That's What I Call Makeup palette. And if you're too young, you might not know that back before Spotify and Apple Music and all that stuff, if we wanted like just a good collection of songs without having to buy entire albums to get them or sit by the radio and hit record and like write in your journal like I did, you had to buy things called Now That's What I Call Music CDs or collections. It was basically the entire year would have all like the top hits for that year. They ended up, I think they still make them actually, but there's tons of them. That's what this is supposed to be playing off of. Now that's what I call makeup. So they have an 80s one. Okay, the 80s one kind of, but not really. Kind of has that 80s kind of a vibe, like just kind of with the color story, because in the 80s there was a lot of blue and purple and pink eyeshadow, but there's a lot of that now too, so I don't think that doesn't land. And then there's also a 90s one, which is there is nothing about this color palette that says 90s to me. I do not see it at all. I'm offended. I am a 90s kid and I love 90s makeup and grunge makeup, and there is nothing in here. It's getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand. We will literally attach a makeup release to absolutely everything. You cannot convince me of otherwise. I'm just over it. Been over it. Sorry. The last thing I'm going to talk about, I can't even believe I'm about to say this, is Charlotte Tilbury. Yes, Charlotte Tilbury is in the ugly category this month, and there must be a snowflake falling in hell somewhere because I never thought I would be roasting anything. Charlotte Tilbury, you guys know. I love her. I love her brand. It is my favorite brand, that and Hourglass. But this is bad, y'all. So this is the Starry Eyes to Hypnotize palette. Because again, we're going with that galaxy theme. It's almost like companies are looking around and they're like, well, we've made makeup collections for literally everything on planet Earth. Now it's time to venture on to the heavens. And it's just so funny. That in and of itself is just kind of like, what? First of all, I'm just over eyeshadow palettes. I can't say it enough. Even Charlotte Tilbury. I don't mind the 4-pan quads that she makes because I'm kind of into that right now. But like a bigger 12-pan eyeshadow palette, not so much. Especially because I don't even know how I missed this. Apparently, Charlotte Tilbury announced that this palette was coming out and then decided to only sell it for 24 hours, which on paper is smart. A lot of what these brands are doing isn't stupid from a business sense because their goal is to make money. But as a consumer, for it to be such a thinly veiled attempt at making money, that's why it's stupid to me. The people who are doing a good job in business right now are the ones who are getting you to buy shit without you realizing how dumb it is. Like, I can see how stupid this is a mile away. Anyway, the 24-hour availability of this palette is so, like, puppet mastery to me. It takes limited edition to a new level. And here's why they ended up doing this. So last year she released a similar palette, and it kind of looked the same, 12 pans, a bigger palette for Charlotte Tilbury, and something like 40,000 people signed up to waitlist on this palette, and then it sold out. I don't know if they brought it back, but it kind of seems like what they thought was, okay, well, this shit did so good last year, let's crank up the crazy and only let people get it for 24 hours. The word on the street is that it is coming back, but you guys, I've been reading so many articles lately, and I'm gonna make a video about it soon, about just how bad it's getting out there. And not just with beauty, this hyper consumerism bubble thing that we've been living in for the past 5 years or so is coming to an end at some point soon. There's talk of a recession in the works. There's a lot going on. Lots of brands are losing money. I mean, Forever 21 is declaring bankruptcy. I don't know if they've officially declared it, because the last I heard it was like they're going to declare it. But it just seems like a lot of brands and companies are suffering right now. And I think that's just because people have enough shit now. Everyone, unless you are just a financially irresponsible, like gonna drive yourself into credit card debt until the cows come home type of person, at some point everyone wises up and starts being a little more responsible with their money. And I think that's where a lot of these brands are suffering, because people get to that point. Where I'm going with this seems so desperate that it is sending off alarm bells to me. That it's not like, you're not Beyonce, like you can't just drop something on us and then not, like, that's kind of what I feel like they were trying to do, like 24 hours only. It doesn't say, oh, we're innovative and we're trying new marketing techniques. And it doesn't say that to me. It says, you guys really need people to buy more makeup. And all of this feels like a cash grab to me. Honestly, almost everything I've mentioned in this video does feel very cash grabby, but this might be one of the more blatant, unapologetic, gross versions of that. And I love Charlotte Tilbury. You guys know I do, but everybody gets it wrong from time to time, so yeah. Anyway, that's the end of this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Y'all know I like to roast me some bad beauty products. There will be a December version or Christmas holiday theme version of this coming soon, and I got a feeling that one's going to be a doozy, a whopper, all of the things, so stay tuned for that. Also, don't forget to check out NappyHeadedJojoba, aka T's channel down below. She is amazing. You will not regret it. Also, thank you to the patrons. You guys are amazing. If you don't know, I have a Patreon. All the information about it is down below if you want to check it out and come hang out with us over there. Looking forward to dropping the new October content. And also, oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot to mention this. My podcast, War Paint, which is going live everywhere in November, is available on Patreon right now. Feedback has been pretty good so far, because it was hard. A lot harder than I thought it was going to be. That's what she said. Anyway, I gotta get out of here. Make sure you check the down bar for links to all my social media platforms, and I will catch you in the next one.